Hi everyone, it's me. I'm back again, and today's video is going back 5 years about when I did my ayahuasca experience and how traumatizing it was when that experience happened that I couldn't even do a video for the next 2, 3 months. And once I kind of got digested that information, then I was able to do the video. And if you want to know more about my ayahuasca experience 5 years ago, I'll leave a link below so you can watch it. But anyways, this is an update on that because recently, because when the ayahuasca experience happened, I don't really know what the hell was going on and what really happened to me. But after this experience with having the decaf coffee, there was a voice inside of me that said, well, what do you think happened during your ayahuasca experience? Now, I don't know what voice that was. It was my spirit guides telling me or guiding me or whatever, but I don't really know. But there was a voice inside of me that said, well, what do you think that happened during your ayahuasca experience? And I was like, and it all just clicked. And so what happened during my ayahuasca experience is that my body became very sensitive because I had been on this breatharian path at the time, for 7 months. Okay, so no solid food for 7 months. I was trying to clean my diet out and all that kind of stuff, right? And so 7 months into my breatharian journey, I went on this ayahuasca experience. And they gave this amount to this tea or this ayahuasca, whatever it is, to drink. And so I drank that, and I, just drank the whole thing thinking I'll be fine. And so what happened was when that voice said, what do you think happened? So basically I OD'd um, on the ayahuasca. I had too much of it. And normally what happens is you either vomit it or you have diarrhea. So some way or the other, you're taking this ayahuasca medicine out of you, you know? But I had neither. So basically I absorbed it all. I left my body. So my body had died. I left my body, and that and what was I not clear about earlier is that when I left my body, I was actually my soul was there in this other realm, but my body was dead. I didn't know that at the time, but when I was at the other realm, and I thought these people were really mean to me because they wanted me to die. I didn't realize that I was already dead, and they wanted me to die because they kept telling me that, it's okay, everything's fine, just come up to this other realm. And so I wasn't in the physical realm, I was in another realm. And they said, yeah, you're in this realm, you just go to this other realm and everything's fine. And they showed me the body transitioning another person, other people's body, like, you go from this realm to this realm to this other realm, and they're like, it's all fine, see, you're the same way. And I was like, why do these people keep forcing me? And I felt like they wanted me to go further inside somewhere to this other realm. And I felt like in my heart that if I went to that realm, I was never going to come back. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go to that realm. And I just basically stood my ground and said, no, I want to go back. I want to go back. And I just stood, and they kept convincing me. And at the time when I was doing my video, I thought these people are so mean. But probably what they were trying to tell me is that, hey, you're already dead. Now you can continue on to this other realm. It's all fine. But I was so adamant, and I felt that my time wasn't up, and I had to go back, and they tried to tell me, convince me otherwise. And I was like, no. And I stood my ground. I took all my willpower, because if I just let go a little bit, I would be gone. But I was like, no, I just held my power. I was like, no, I want to go back. I have my son. I have my life back. I want to go back. And I kept telling them, and they kept trying to convince me otherwise. And the reason why they're trying to convince me otherwise, because I was already dead. So then I don't know. Then what happened was they couldn't convince me, and I just stood my ground. I was so adamant and so like not budging at all. And then I remember being back in my body, but I couldn't move. Like, I was there, and if I want to lift my arm or something, and I couldn't lift my arm to ask for help. I couldn't do anything. Like, I was just in this dead body. And then finally, because the ceremony is like 8 hours long, like it was like 8 hours of torture. It was 8 hours long. So towards the end of it, when the morning and this, like, it was, people were finally coming out of it. I was completely out of it, trying to sit up. I couldn't do anything. I was just like gone. And so I sat up and I couldn't even sit up. I was barely like over time over like I think it took a couple of hours and I was trying to sit up or whatever and I couldn't sit up and anyway so basically that's what happened, that I basically had died and I came back to my dead body, and those people on the other side were not being mean to me by wanting me to die. They were actually trying to tell me that I was already dead and it was okay, that I could kind of go on and go into these other realms, but I didn't realize I was already dead. I was like, no, I'm gonna go back. So anyways, I guess I convinced her to send me back and I was back. And so here I am. And so that is why when that was such a traumatic experience for me, that is why I was so glad to be back on earth. And I was so appreciative of everything, is because in my heart I knew. And when I watched my old video about the about my ayahuasca experience, I did mention in there that it was like a near-death experience, and I felt it in my heart that it was, that I'm just lucky that they sent me back, and I was actually dead, and luckily it wasn't my time to leave, and so they did send me back, though they did try to convince me that it's okay, everything's fine, you can go to this other realm, and but I wasn't convinced and I wanted to come back, and luckily I was allowed to come back. And so, anyways, so that's what happened. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is my update on my ayahuasca experience that happened about 5 years ago. Because you know what? If any of you have done ayahuasca, it's so confusing. You don't really know what the hell's going on. At least I didn't know what was going on. But now, after this caffeine experience that I had, that if you watch my video, you know what I'm talking about. My There's a voice inside me said, "What do you think happened?" Like I OD'd on it, and yeah, so and I died, and I came back. So, anyways, so that's my update. I appreciate you guys watching. And if you want to know about my ayahuasca experience, my first video I did, I'll leave it in the link in the description below. I'll leave a link over there so you can watch that if you're interested. But anyways, so again, when you're on this path, you're very, very sensitive to other things. So if you're ever going to go on ayahuasca or ever do anything like have caffeine or anything like that, you have to be very careful because your body changes and you become very sensitive to things. So yeah. So anyway, so if you're going to go on ayahuasca experience and you're on the breatharian path, I would recommend taking a very little amount of that tea that they gave you. Don't take the whole thing, like I did. So, anyways, those are things to that I can say. Anyways, that's something that I have learned. And now, of course, I don't do anything. That experience just completely terrified me. That I'm just like nothing. I'm just like, you know. Breathing air is like my drug. Like I'm not going to do anything. Not that I have in the past, but these experiences kind of make you really like say, no, 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 I value my life a lot and I don't want my life to go. And I have to be very careful because I have become very sensitive and I can't just take anything. Your whole body composition, everything changes. So that's part of being on the breatharian path. You become more sensitive, become more spiritual, all that kind of stuff happens. So, anyway, so that's what it is. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.